Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Evan Samet. Evan is the host of Outwork Outcare podcast. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Evan Samet.
Hey,
Evan,
hey, thanks. Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's funny for, people listening. This has had to be our, second or third rescheduled time.
it's
Just,
all good. It's all good. It's all good.
just getting
So,
caught. And I think, it really says a lot to what you probably talk about in your book of, being dedicated and, connecting is not supposed to be easy. And, having persistence, is really the most important thing. So, being able to talk to you and be on a show where, you embody exactly what you're trying to preach, really means a lot.
thank you so much for the testimonial. Now we can finish the interview. It's already done.
And that's a wrap. 30 seconds. Cool. It's fun. Talk soon.
Okay, because our people want more, so let's get going. So let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get started with your podcast, Outwork Outcare?
So it was just more of a, how can I meet people in this situation? Obviously, COVID is not the best for networking, not the best for meeting people, not the best for expanding your personal network. And, I said, you know what, how can I reach out to people, meet people, try to make connections, especially connections in different cities? What can I learn from people? The idea of any show or, is if you're the smartest person in the room, then you should go to a different room. If you're the smartest person on a call, hop on a different call. So I'm trying to, really have people on who I don't want to say are necessarily smarter than me, but they know a lot more about their industry than I do. And the
Yeah.
majority of them have turned out to be smarter than me. But I'm really learning a lot about a variety of different industries, a lot about different people, a lot about how to network, what takes people. And I've been able to use, and again, it's only been, I think, 8 episodes live, but we're in the top of new Apple podcasts. We have, over, 1,250 views, and hopefully by the time this gets released, over 1,500 views, which is over the median income for all podcasts. And I'm really interested in what the guests are saying. I'm trying to learn from them. And, I've been able to, as short as it's been, turn a connection that I had into a business relationship, which is just the icing on a cake. And having, a follow-up call with someone I had on the show, which had nothing to do with the show. And again, it's only been 7 weeks or 8 weeks, so I can't tell you they're going to be friends for years, but, already off to a good start.
Yeah, that's always a great beginning. When you actually have someone who is listening and engaging with you, consuming your content, then eventually you're on a call with them and into a business relationship. That's the ideal transformation.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. So you have been in a business and working on your full time and then also started this podcast, and you have so many lessons to share with other people. So I want you to share, please, 3 top missteps to avoid creating a success for yourself.
So I think the first, and the first thing is I would say is if you're a business owner, always remember that your employees don't have as much vested in the business that you do. You own it. Why? And I know the feeling, like, why should I work for a dime when my boss gets $1? And you have to make sure that if you're an owner, every employee that you have, you're trying to incentivize them to do better. You just can't expect them to work 60, 70 hours a week for the basic salary. Really try to incentivize your employees, give them targets to hit, make them feel that when the business does better, you do better. But then, as someone at Key Investment Group who's an employee of the company, looking at things on the complete other side of the table, remember what your CEO and founder had to go through to just be able to have the ability to hire you. And never forget that. For your boss, for your CEO, for your founder, this is their newborn kid. This is their creation. They, started it in stress. They bootstrapped the company. They had sleepless nights. And, be mindful of that for, if you say, oh, my boss doesn't give me a social life or this and that, remember what they had to go through and be appreciative. And I'm not saying to work, 24/7, 365, but, really give back what you can to your company, especially in small business, as, where my background is, because you can really rise up the ranks so much quicker. So, if you're at a 1,000, 2,000 person company, it's probably so much that you can jump per year just because of how many people have been in the company or have longer tenure than you do. But if you're in a business that's 3 to 30 people, you have a chance to, if you stay there for 2 years, be in the top 10% of tenured people.
Yeah.
You're able to really jump up quickly. So really come in and give your energy and never forget that. And I think the third piece of advice I would give would be, if you're looking to get a job, and because I've hired people before and I've been through countless interviews and you're trying to hire people for my team, remember, we're trying to hire you for the team. So, don't talk about what your best assets are. Don't talk about what you do that's great. Talk about what you would do that would benefit the team. I'm not here for Evan Samet. I'm here for whatever company I'm looking for. I'm not here right now to pitch myself. I'm here. What is new success secrets? What can I provide that help people get the book? I'm here, to benefit you, to say, how can I help you really expand your audience? How can I give great advice? What can I do? And, kind of noticing what the other side of the table needs and address how you can help them. And it should be a good match.
Great wisdom, especially one side, the employee side, the job seeker side, on the other side of the table. You really covered the both sides of the table, different perspectives.
Exactly. And that's more in life itself, even if you think of, personal relationships, or if you think
Yeah.
of dating, you should want someone who, if you're, a man and you want to date a girl, and, a girl's looking for someone who really wants this in their life, then, help them with that. And if, try to provide that. And if you're not the person for that, that's completely okay. There'll be someone else out there. If someone in a job is, looking for someone who's completely organized, incredibly detail oriented, not really looking for a big picture thing, and someone like myself who's really big picture thinking, that
Yeah.
wouldn't be a good fit for me. And that doesn't mean they're a bad person for not wanting that. It just
Yeah.
means it's not enough fit. There's so many different jobs out there, and there's no point of settling, and there's no point of settling for anything in life, really.
Understood. Understood. Evan, it's a great conversation. I want you to share, I'm sure you have so many ups and downs in your career and in your job and your business. So what's your single most professional failure you like to share with us? What did you learn from it and how did you recover from that?
So, I mean, I would say my biggest professional failure was, in March 2020, due to COVID, background in the entertainment space, key investment group, entertainment company. Our sales just fell around 98% in a month, and it had nothing to do with ourselves. It had all to do with COVID. March 1st, we're over the moon, hitting company highs, sales highs, looking to hire, resumes out the door. April 1st, we're unfortunately, we just had to make complete adjustments. And I think the biggest thing I learned to that is, if you really believe in what you're doing and, keep going with it. Obviously, it could be so hard right now so easy right now just to leave the company and say, what, concerts are never going to happen, games are never happen. But you know what? I believe in the people I work with. I love the people I work with. I believe in what the company could do. I believe that, yes, we've been knocked off the mountain and we are down there. But you know what? When it's time and, different world events and US events, kind of things start to align,
Yeah.
there's going to be, and there already is, a drive with the core group of this company that I think is going to be unmatched.
Absolutely. That's very well put. And especially now that the light at the end of the tunnel, we can see it. In March, we couldn't have had no idea where it's going and how long it will take.
Well, and I think we've made it through the toughest part. I think the toughest part for me is, now it's more of like how much I miss it because of the time.
Yeah.
But I do now see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, and you talk about March, I mean, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I mean, we'll be lucky if there's one vaccine that's 75% effective, and you can turn on every different news channel, and you're reading a different thing every day, and that's fine. And then November hits, and they get the news of Moderna and the other company that's
Pfizer.
and Pfizer that I'm blanking on, and now we're like, okay, now there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And
Yeah.
I try to tell the people who work for me and around me, if we were able to make it through the dark days where
Yeah.
there wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel, we just got to hold on strong until certain things start to align and enough people start to get vaccinated.
That's a great leadership lesson, and empower people and kind of stay engaged with them. Even in the dark time, and especially now it should be easier because. Okay, cool. So, what's your top three success secret? Your personal one, on a business side.
I mean, my personal one, I mean, is, is and why I decided to name my show this is, outwork and outcare your competition.
Yeah.
Outwork, always be there when you need it. And again, there are certain boundaries, and I certainly understand that. But if it's, a Monday at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. and you're sitting at home not doing much, put in the work effort. If you're, scrolling through social media and, blowing your time on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, do some work, help your company.
Yeah.
Again, if you're out and you're at the dinner and you're spending time with a significant other, you're spending time with family, don't ruin I'm not saying don't ruin the important times, but in times where you're not doing anything, find a way to, you know, outwork, the people who are, wasting their time, and
Mhm.
actually care about, and again, outcare, not to be too cliche, but care about the work that you're doing. If you're just putting in a time and, you're doing this and whatever, you're on the show and you're not really enjoying it, or you're just sitting at your desk every day, constantly, having the second ticker on your computer so you could see when it hits 5 o'clock and I can sign off and call it a day. Then find a new job. Find something that you really care about, something that motivates you. When you're out and you're meeting people, you want to talk about. People always say, don't talk about work, it's bad. Me, my passion is work. I love to talk about work. I think
Yeah.
it's the coolest thing because it's what gets me up every day. And I would say that my third my third biggest success is try to meet as many people as you can. You never know how a connection is going to benefit you in the future. We're on this call, you know, we're all gonna go our separate ways for now. But you know what? There might be a time, and I'm not saying it's gonna be today. I'm not saying it's gonna be tomorrow. I'm not even, for all I know, I'm not even saying it's going to be, this year. But
Yeah.
we keep constant dialogue. Hey, how are the shows going? Hey, how are the businesses going? Hey, like I see live events are coming back. Simple notes that we just drop to each other. And there could be a time where we completely cross paths. I'm looking for a real estate, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You're the guy I can reach out to.
Mm.
You're looking for ticketing to a show. You can reach out to me. And there's a way that we can work together and really make a connection and make a friendship, and uh, never underestimate what that you could do. And if I could throw a bonus in there, and it was a piece of advice that kind of came on my show that I've been realizing is, just don't think of how a connection is going to help you. Think of how you're going to help the connection, because then when it's time to get something back in return, that person will know, what, this guy's not just selfless, that he's looking to really have it be a two-way connection because he helped me in XYZ.
Yeah, as they say, you to receive, you have to give first, so you create a space for to receive something. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And again, the meeting people is going to be so different nowadays. I think is a pro and a con. I think the con of it is you're not going to build as close because you're not going to be doing that handshake. You're not going to be, uh, again, having that face-to-face dialogue. But I think it's something where, maybe in the past you wouldn't have, go out to dinner to meet someone because you didn't want to do the 45-minute commute and, spend 2 hours with someone you didn't know and then come home. This is like here, we're making a connection, and, we've been talking for 15 minutes. When the conversation's over, I'm going to go back to work. You're going to go back to work. And it's 30 minutes, it's whatever, 30 minutes, however long, 15
Yeah.
minutes, however long the show amounts to be. And here we go. We made a connection. It was easy. None of us neither of us had to get on a plane to go anywhere. So
Yeah.
you'll have the ability to meet more people. It's just going to be how deep those relationships are and how you end up wanting to utilize it.
And now you will end up in meeting people in person only you really like to, and you have a deep desire to meet. Not
E-
like you build a relationship and take it to select people However, they want to meet you and you want to meet them. It's not like, hey, what you do, So
Yeah, it's also, it's funny. I was actually like talking about this with a friend last night. It's actually, in a sense, very, very similar to dating apps when you think about it.
yeah.
It's like, no one right now, wants to go on that first date, without, that blind date. You got to do all this background and you got to do all this and that. So like before, like, you might actually, say like, oh, I really want to meet this guy in person. Let me get on the computer and make it convenient. And a computer is different than a phone, but it's like, let me get on my phone and talk to them and, look at their background, this and that. It's going to be the very same with this. It's like, let me hop on a Zoom and, I can kind of get off in 15 minutes if I'm not interested. And, kind of has those similarities where, when you meet in person, it's going to be more special, but there's going to have to be more time invested in it.
Understood. Understood. It's a great conversation. How growth hacking secret community can support you?
The best way to find me is, if anyone wants to reach out to me, first name Evan, Evan, last name Samet, Samet. Find me on LinkedIn, connect with me, shoot me a message. I've been on, on a guest on at least 6, 7, 8, 9 shows. And, on the shows that I've been on, some people have reached out to me with comments, and it really means a lot to me. Again, like, and as I stated earlier, I'm doing this, to really, for your listeners, try to provide, if I can just provide one piece of information that means something, drop me a note. It really means a lot to me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. As we are about to wrap up, Evan, what would you say? Few words about the show so that it helps. What would you say to your best friend about Growth Hacking Secrets show while you are on right now when I'm not there?
I think what I would say to them is, you really can get great information in short bits of time. You're not going to have to listen to, for 2 hours to really, get one piece of information. They're quick, concise, quick hits, boom, a lot of information packed in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. What would you say as a final word?
Uh, keep finding someone. If anyone, I don't want to, be in competition here, but if anyone's looking for extra listening material, again, reach out to me and, give the show a listen. I've had some really great guests on, Fortune 500 CEOs, star athletes, star athlete trainers. It's been a fun and again, a lot of information packed in, which is the most important thing.
Mhm. Evan, in fact, that reminds me that I have a partner, the billionaire, is a $10 billion guy, owns over 160 miles of beachfront properties and 48 businesses in the US and around the world. I may even recommend him to your show to be a guest on that. He is the founder of 13 Standards of Knowledge, creator of 13 Standards of Knowledge. Is amazing human being.
Yeah,
That-
that would mean a lot to me. Anyone who you can send, and I'll try to recommend a couple people who I know are, looking to promote things, and I'll send them your way. And part of the things that we even talked about earlier on the show is it's connections. You looking to help me before looking to help yourself. Me looking to help you before looking to help myself. And here, like already in the intro, I'm already paying dividends, which is
Absolutely,
the best.
absolutely. Evan, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.